think I might be more excited than anybody in the audience. Had Joseph on the podcast recently and had a blast chatting with him. I'm a member of his community and been learning so much from him. And then excited today to have Lots as well, who has recently exited multiple apps and building a lot of cool stuff. So it's going to be fun to have another person here as well. But I did want to give you both a chance to introduce yourselves as we get rolling here. Joseph, why don't you go first?
Cool. Thanks, David. Hey, I'm Joseph. I am the founder of Consumer Club. It's a community for consumer app founders. The hook is kind of we talk about TikTok, organic virality, and getting a bunch of users for your apps on TikTok. Before that, I have a background in e-commerce, and that's how I sort of got into this whole thing. I saw a lot of e-commerce marketers doing super scrappy things on TikTok and making millions in revenue, like purely from TikTok organic UGC type content. And over the past year or so, I've seen a lot of people switching over to apps and basically using the same tactics from the e-commerce world, but for apps, which have better margins, better exit multiples. So it's just a really exciting space, and excited to come up with some TikTok ideas today.
Awesome. And Lots?
Hey everyone, Latana, people call me Lots. So previously I ran a VC-backed fintech company for content creators. After 4 years, ended up failing. So I kind of thought to myself, hey, let me try something smaller and see if that would work. And luckily I had like 3 back-to-back exits, which were all consumer apps, which is amazing. Currently actually going through an exit right now, and revenue cap is something I make sure I use all the time for revenue tracking and other things. So it seems like a great collab. But yeah, right now, actually, I'm from London, but I moved to San Francisco to join Founders Inc., where I kind of run all the kind of like AI cash flow businesses.
Awesome. Yeah, really excited to get your perspective. We just met for the first time like 20 minutes ago as we were getting ready for the webinar. So it's really great to meet you and hear some of your story. Yeah, super excited to get your perspective, having so recently exited so many apps. So awesome. A couple more things as we get rolling. Today we're not going to do a Q&A. We typically do Q&As at the end. But both Lots and Joseph are way younger and more terminally online than I am. So we're going to see if the combination of them and me paying a little more attention in the chat will just kind of like surface interesting ideas that are shared in the chat along the way, instead of having kind of a dedicated Q&A at the end. We have 20 apps to talk through that submitted by folks who joined the webinar. So if you're joining today, your app may get mentioned. And a little housekeeping. I don't know if Lots or Joseph or anybody's switching the focus back and forth. But if you would not hit that button, I'll kind of control who's in focus as we're going here. So yeah, we won't have a Q&A at the end. So just jump in the chat. Don't drop it in the questions tab. And then if you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Twitter, we are kind of simulcasting this. Head over to Livestorm and the links in like the tweets and stuff like that. If you want to ask questions and be part of the chat. Another thing we need to get better at, but it's hard to kind of watch the chat on like 4 different platforms simultaneously. And the last thing is we will be sharing the recording on YouTube shortly within the next couple of days, but that doesn't mean don't pay attention, because as we all know, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I'll just watch it when it comes out on YouTube, and then you don't watch it. So stick around, because it's going to be great. And a couple of other things as we get rolling. We do have a poll. So if you go to the polls tab, the question for everyone is, what's your current level of experience with TikTok app marketing? Kind of curious to see if folks are already active on TikTok as a marketing channel, or if this is fairly new. And then while you're answering the poll, we actually have a huge announcement today. I don't think probably didn't even let Lots and Joseph know about this ahead of time, but we did this whole revenue cat growth challenge. It had submissions open for 2 weeks. We're giving away $15,000 in advertising budget and 3 months of growth help from Steve Young. And we had a lot of fantastic submissions, and it was genuinely quite hard to select a winner for this. We had a whole spreadsheet. Me and several colleagues were voting. Steve was chiming in, and there were so many good apps submitted, so many great businesses, so many cool ideas that it was tough to pick a winner, but we had to pick one winner. And that winner is Thumbsters. So hopefully you guys are in the webinar and can chime in and say hi to everybody. But we're super excited to work with the team and help grow the app over the next few months. And I think today's insights are things that we'll probably be putting into place over the next 3 months to help grow Thumbsters. I think it'd be fun to do some experiments. Maybe we can even loop in Joseph and some other folks to and Lots to get some ideas on how to go viral on TikTok with Thumbsters. I should have thought of this ahead of time. We should have made Thumbsters one of the apps we covered today. Maybe we can cover it at the end or something. But anyways, congratulations to Thumbsters, and we're going to check back in on the poll. Sorry for monologuing so much. We usually don't have these announcements. So 83% of you are just starting out with TikTok marketing. So that's actually great context for me, Lots, and Joseph to be thinking about as we share these insights. 5% are crushing it, app already going viral, and then 14% are actively running campaigns and kind of in that learning phase and growing. So super good context for us to kind of understand where you're at. I paid like $5,000 to a creator back in 2020. And it wasn't great. So I'm maybe somewhere between that, just starting and actively running campaigns. Tried some viral stuff and it didn't pan out. But I'm so busy with my day job here at Revenue Cat that I don't get as much time to experiment. All right. So the question I wanted to kick off with and finally stop monologuing and get the guests to speak is, what is behind the surge in TikTok marketing for subscription apps? It feels like we're really having a moment these last few months of just so much more discussion about it, so many more apps going viral, so much more activity on the platform. And Joseph, I mean, in some ways you're maybe behind some of that, having a moment, just being more vocal and sharing more about it and talking more about it. But yeah, why don't you just give us an overview of like why TikTok and why is it having a moment, and then specifically with subscription apps?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, TikTok is just like, in my perspective, it's just new. It's like very like short form video itself is still pretty new. TikTok only came out in, I don't know exactly, maybe 2018, 2019, something like that. When new platforms and new types of content emerge, like it becomes a distribution channel for organic content, but then it becomes a distribution channel for advertisers eventually. Like brands will start to come in and start to understand how to make content natively on that platform. And then it becomes more commercialized. Same thing happened with Instagram. Like back when Instagram first popped up, it was just, with friends. And then now Instagram is basically all influencers and it's all branded content. So it's like becoming more saturated. But now that there's IG Reels and TikTok, there's a brand new content format that hasn't fully been penetrated by, brands and advertisers trying to figure out how to make branded content. So from my perspective, it's just new. And with every new platform, there's going to be new there's going to be a rush of underpriced attention. The other unique, interesting thing about TikTok is that you don't need followers to go viral. You can have 0 followers and get 1 million views on your first video. So you don't need to do influencer marketing anymore. You just need to have you need to understand the parts of a video that make it go viral, and then just go viral, and you can do it on day one if you're good. So yeah, I think it's an exciting time.
Awesome. Lots. What are your thoughts on what's going on with this right now?
Yeah, I would say like jumping on what Joseph said last, it's the whole point of the TikTok algorithm focusing on the content itself, like each content type, it's actually judged by itself rather than the entire profile of the account, which then lowers the barrier to entry. So a lot more people can start. And I think the second thing as well is actually even more on the revenue side of things. I think consumers are more, they're getting used to kind of paying subscriptions or lifetime deals on apps now as well. So we can actually see that there's actually been a great growth in I guess revenue on the app stores and play stores on that end as well. So I think both of them put together creates like an opportunity for a higher margin business.
Yeah, I think it's a great overview. All right, well let's jump into it then. So what we're going to do is we had, like I said, we had 20 apps submitted. Actually, I mean, we had like tons of apps submitted, but I think maybe 100 apps. Poor Peter. Peter's my colleague. We works really closely on these webinars, and he's the one who went through all the submissions and picked the ones he thought would be most interesting for us to cover today. So I think a lot of you who are joining us today submitted, and hopefully we get to cover as many as we can, and your app's in there. But what we're going to do is I'm going to just share the screenshots, and we're going to cook, as the kids say. We're gonna get feedback from Lots and Joseph on how to make this app go viral. So we're going to kick it off with one that I think Joseph's actually talked with before on Twitter. I think they're a member of the community as well, but we're going to try and maybe get some new ideas. But also, Joseph, feel free to share what you feel like were maybe some of your best ideas from the past that folks can learn from if they hadn't seen the past tweets and stuff like that. So this first, and then let me, what I'll do is I'll also read each app kind of submitted a pitch for kind of what's the most differentiating and interesting thing about their app. So I'll read those as we get going. So the pitch for Fig is that you can find food you can eat for any diet or allergy. So it's a kind of food allergy, like if you're following a specific diet where you need to avoid gluten or dairy, or there's like low FODMAP diets, there's autoimmune protocol, there's all sorts of different like elimination diets and stuff like that. So I've actually used this app, so it's pretty cool to see this one being the first app we covered. But take it away, Joseph, and then chime in Lots, and let's get going.
Yeah, this is a cool app. I think one special thing about TikTok is that it takes up the whole screen. So it's a very highly visual platform. So like the video takes up the whole screen, which means that like visuals are really important. So if you look at this, I'm looking at the third screenshot right now, where it says like make it specific, edit your Fig down to any specific ingredient. One thing I really like this is the green, yellow, and red like icons. I think that's very eye-catching, and I think that would look really good on a TikTok. So I think if you showed, and also like the whole concept of like like looking up food and seeing what ingredients it has and what restrictions it has, it makes for infinite content. So you can post a video every day, showing, a certain food and then showing what ingredients it has. And the interesting part of that video is you can kind of show like maybe some surprising things about food. Like maybe you could show a I don't know what's interesting. Like what, like maybe
I mean, one of the things I've been thinking about with fig, and thankfully I don't have this kind of food allergy, but you could really get into like the potty humor side of things, like, somebody eating a tomato and then like, holding their stomach and running to the restroom and like, fart noises and like all sorts of stuff. And then, and be like, did you know tomatoes have whatever, what do they have? I don't even know. Some people are sensitive to tomatoes for some reason. So like whatever ingredient it is, then you're like, did you know if tomatoes have this ingredient, you might be sensitive to it. I think there's actually like some fun ways to like, pull some potty humor in, which is like so relatable and kind of like funny way to get people's attention. Oh yeah, it looks like maybe there's a little bit of that in their TikTok already. I saw the like mouth covered like.
Yeah, I'm also thinking about like real life scenarios that happen, right? Like you're on a date, for example. Like I realize a lot of couple stuff, and then you tell the waiter, oh, she's allergic to fish, for example, and the waiter is not really too sure whether the food has fish or not, type of thing. And then like you pull out your phone quickly to scan it, for example. So I think things like that where people can relate to that particular situation itself could really go out.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Joseph, on like the kind of like how, because to go viral, it's like it's got to be kind of like funny or entertaining or like some kind of, it's got to have some kind of a hook. So any thoughts on like ways to loop that in to make it like funnier or more? Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the emotions that I usually think about is like problem solving. So like with problem solving products, you want the emotion to be, well, I guess I'll backtrack a little bit. In general, like you want to solve, you want to either have it be controversial, so like people get angry at the video, and then like some people will inevitably actually resonate with it and decide to download the app, or funny, basically some sort of emotion, but yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of angles. I think the situations is a way to approach it, because there's so many different situations. Like even in their existing content, they have, like going in the grocery store trying to find gluten-free things, like trying to find snacks at the airport, trying to find sodas that match my fig. Starbucks. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, this could be controversial. So you could go to a popular restaurant, and maybe a restaurant that's a little bit more controversial, or like in pop culture, like
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden, yeah,
Yeah.
like Chipotle, or yeah, yeah. It looks like they're doing it here with Chick-fil-A, like best gluten-free meals from Chick-fil-A. That's interesting. I mean, you could appeal to the entire like gluten-free audience and try to find gluten-free options at various popular restaurants, because I think there's a lot of people that don't really know, like, oh, are there gluten-free options at this XYZ restaurant? But then you just do that for each demographic group. So you could do it for gluten-free, you could do it for dairy-free, you could do it for vegetarian. Yeah, you could do a whole restaurant series. It looks like a lot of these are grocery store based, but you could probably do a lot of restaurants. This is just one of their accounts, though. They have other ones. Like I wonder if they use.
And it looks like they've had some pretty strong showings already. I mean, I saw a few of those with like 400,000 views, 100,000 views.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think they're doing very well on TikTok. It looks like this account is specifically for, I don't know how to pronounce, like PCOS. So that's one specific health condition, and they're making all their content on that. So you could, oh, maybe this one was actually gluten-free. Oh no, this is the generic one. So this is, whatever. This one's for vegan. So all their content's about how to find, vegan options. Here's Tyler's personal talking head account. Yeah.
Also, lots, you've been quiet. Any other ideas?
I think I do like the verticalization of like the different issues that people could have, and then just creating loads of content and different angles around that same thing. I think also what Joseph mentioned, which is kind of like you use something else to pull people in. So you could have an account that's just focusing on, I don't know, high-end places, for example, and it just kind of does different content types, because it seems like the content types or angles are working. So I think, like, for example, when you see the gut-friendly snack haul is that Major? Sorry, I'm not from the US, so I don't know these places. But it's like just having that as the cover photo, people kind of see it and like, okay, cool, I know that place. I go to that place. Let me actually have a look at what this thing is actually saying. Or focusing on, for example, like IBS or like specific issues that people will have, and having accounts just for that. I think that'd be a good way to break it down, because at the end of the day, TikTok is kind of like a volume game. And then once you find something that does work, you can then actually try and replicate it onto Instagram, and then maybe Instagram Reels, and then try and run some ads on those as well. Because if those are working organically, then ads are just gonna boost it so that more people can see it, and hopefully it's then converting as well.
I'll say one more thing. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and then you can wrap it up, is, as Joseph's been scrolling through these accounts, one of the things I've noticed is it does seem like there's a lot of repetition. Like it's like this account is almost exclusively like going into a grocery store, and like, that specific account doesn't look like it's gotten a ton of views. So like maybe it's time to like really shake things up. Like instead of doing like 20 grocery store, views, grocery store style TikToks, like, it seems like that's just not hitting as strongly, so for whatever reason. And so like just mixing things up more, I think would be a great thing to try.
Yeah, it's similar to if anyone else has ever done Facebook ads, meta ads. Like it's a similar principle with like you want to lean into the thing that works. So like back maybe a few months ago, I'm sure Tyler made one grocery store video for the very first time, and it went super viral, and he realized, oh, this content reaches this audience, and it's a perfect like content market fit. So then that's why he like copied it, basically the same video over and over again, because the concept works. You kind of found those winning lottery numbers, and you're just spamming it every day. But then eventually, like, there's creative fatigue. Like eventually the same people see the same type of video every day for several weeks or months. So then it saturates, and then you got to find new videos. But I think it's great that they're like that. It's a good sign actually that they've saturated the audience to the fullest extent. And then now it's time to maybe find some new angles. Yeah. One more thing I was gonna say is gut health. So like one interesting thing about one way that I like to look at like find TikTok ideas is just think about, okay, what keywords like do people would people in this audience be interested in? So we saw that account that is basically all about gut health, and gut health is a huge trend. So if you just search gut health on TikTok, you can see all the videos of people talking about gut health. And it seems like a lot of them are talking head videos, or they're just talking to the camera. So you could probably sponsor like some of these videos if you wanted to do influencer marketing. But I will show the classic colostrum. Like I just have to bring it up. I think I show this to every single person that I talk to about TikTok. But if you go to these colostrum videos, they're TikTok slideshows, and they're these like storytelling style videos. This doesn't work for everyone, but it's very scalable and it's very repeatable, because these are all mid-journey. It's all AI generated. It's like this story time thing from the perspective of a nanny, how I like take care of these kids in this crunchy family. No screens, no sugar. Well, let's see, where is the, okay, there we go. So colostrum, it's like this Amazon product, but then instead of plugging the Amazon product, you can obviously plug, like if the whole video is about, you know, how to, you know, be more health conscious, then a Fig sponsorship or a Fig product plug would go very well in this type of video.
Yeah, we've already spent a ton of time, but one more idea for Tyler, just based on, you know, again, having actually used the app. It seems like, and we were already talking about like the grocery store thing, maybe kind of already saturating. And so I think it may be a great way. The reason that probably went viral originally is that people can relate. Like I can so relate to like being in a grocery store and being like, ah, geez, like, okay, I need to be gluten-free or whatever. And then like, you know, struggling to find stuff. But like there's a million other things people with digestive issues can relate to, like embarrassing moments, like, you know, being at a friend's house and needing to use a restroom, like I was saying before, like potty humor. And so if you go through like what are the like 100 different situations, and Lots was talking about it, like being at a restaurant, like what can I eat at this restaurant? There's probably 100 different kind of scenarios that people who struggle with digestive issues can relate to. And so going like scenario by scenario, like asking your users, like, you know, what are some of your challenges? What's going on in your life? What do you find hard about this? And then going like scenario by scenario, you'll probably find other winners like that. And then you can be mixing up the content a little more. All right, this has been great. We should probably move on because we're not going to even finish like 4 apps in 90 minutes if we don't. All right, the next app up is Nonsense. This is a super cool app. They were actually submitted to the Grow Challenge, so I actually just learned about them last week. It was super hard to not pick them over Thumbsters. There were so many good apps, like I said, that got submitted. So the pitch here is we use a unique approach to language learning with the help of everyone's favorite Hollywood movies. So, you know, the basic premise of the app is like learn English in a fun way by watching movies and clips and things like that. So, yeah, Lots, why don't you kick this one off? What strikes you and what do you think would be interesting to focus on in trying to get this app to go viral?
I think it's super interesting. Like from seeing the screenshots already, like I'm already reminded of like IMDb anyways, which I guess is a good thing. I think in terms of TikTok strategy, I think the whole thing about, you know, looking for, I don't know whether it's like a whole movie they watch, maybe it's like a snippet that's then translated and you have to speak about it or whatnot. But I think riding on the back of these different popular shows and then adding them as clips into your TikToks definitely help as well, because people who naturally search for these shows anyways will be able to kind of find it and discover it in a much easier way. As well, I really do like the design, especially of the screenshots as well. I think it just gets straight to the point and it's very, very vibrant, and something that calls onto people as well. But yeah, I think those are kind of the ideas that come to me straight away.
Cool, Joseph.
Yeah. So on TikTok, I just searched for Netflix party in the search bar because this is what this app reminds me of. It's not the same use case at all, but it's the same. I think you could do the same type of content. So this is like, I think it's a Chrome extension. I remember there was this Chrome extension that adds a button to your Netflix and allows you to basically watch the same Netflix show as a friend who's long distance or someone else who's not in the same room as you. And it syncs up the time so that you're watching the same show at the same time. And I think it's called Teleparty, but I think there's a few of them. Like one of them was just called Netflix Party. And this content, how many views? This video got 40,000 views. And look at the hook. So first 3 seconds. So first second was just a shot of the laptop screen with the caption teleparty with the like greater than symbol. So this is like kind of Gen Z lingo. So, you know, basically just saying like, oh, teleparty is the best. And then it zooms in, second shot in the second. And then third second, it zooms out, turns around to her reaction. Oh, and there's a little chat interface where she's chatting with whoever she's watching it with. That's it. That's the whole video. It got 40K views. And then, you know, this one is a little bit more descriptive. POV, you don't live close to your friends, but still want to watch your show together. Okay, so that was interesting. So they put the laptop on the bed, opened it up, typed in the actual URL, Scener, did a quick product demo, showed how it works, and then instantly in the 7th second, it shows like the product working. I feel like you could do a very similar type of video with what was that called? With Nonsense, English with Movies. You know, if you want to learn a language from a movie, you could basically replicate the same video where you say POV, you finally started to learn a language, or POV, you learned a language 10 times faster than you were on Duolingo, because you just watch movies with the Nonsense app. So it's like kind of writing. I would also attack Duolingo hard in a lot of these videos. Like the initial thing that I looked up was stop using Duolingo. There's actually a lot of content that resonates with people. Just like stop using Duolingo. I mean, Duolingo, I don't have a strong opinion on it. I mean, I think it's a good app. But I have heard like people say, oh, it's like takes longer to learn languages on Duolingo or whatever. But yeah, whenever you're offering an alternative.
Hey Joseph, we lost your mic.
Oops.
I muted you because it like went fuzzy. I don't know if there's a cord got unplugged or something.
Is it still fuzzy?
It's really quiet.
Okay, wait, hold on. Give me a sec.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said the Duolingo crew hacked him. It's Duo. Duo hacked your computer and broke your microphone for speaking ill of.
Is it still bad?
Yeah, maybe just switch to your laptop mic or something.
Okay, give me a sec. You guys can take over for now.
All right, yeah. Now I was thinking along the same lines. It's like, you know, I mean, Duolingo's obviously an incredible app, an incredible success story, and you know, just despite all the naysayers, it's like people do learn languages on Duolingo. It's not that it's like this horrible, terrible app, but when you're competing with them, it's like that's part of what you have to do. Is like they're the biggest app in the space. Everybody knows them, and so I think Joseph's right. Is like leaning into kind of throwing Duolingo into the bus, and I think there's as fun as Duolingo is with Duo and all their kind of like passive aggressive stuff and stuff like that, I think that's maybe where you can get some stuff to go viral. You know, you have to be careful and tasteful, and maybe you don't want to piss off Duolingo, or I don't know kind of your situation exactly, but like Joseph was saying, I think that could be a fun angle. And even things like you know, bored of Duolingo, or like is your streak a trudge now, tired of seeing the owl. Like there's a lot of kind of like fun ways you could play on it that may kind of create that hook that gets people in. And then, you know, the stuff Joseph was bringing up with all this stop using Duolingo. It's like there's so much content already out there. Learning from the ones that have gone most viral there maybe a great way to kind of to play with that and kind of get ideas. Lots of any.
For sure. I would also use, like, if you go into TikTok and you type in, I think, creator search insights, into TikTok. So TikTok has its own kind of like native tool itself, where you can actually see kind of like trending content and then trending content around different topics as well. So I think that's something that's can be super helpful and insightful for sure.
Cool. All right, Joseph, is your mic back? Oh yeah, now you're muted.
Ooh, sounds even quieter. This is what happens when you talk bad about Duolingo.
We've learned a lesson today. Oh man.
I'm gonna switch to my webcam mic. It's gonna be really bad quality, but
Well, we can hear you at least, so
yeah,
that's better.
All right.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, let's move on because we do have a ton of apps to cover. But that was a cool app. Let's move on to PetMates. So the pitch for this is turning even the boring part of pet care into something fun. So this looks like kind of a task and reminder app. I have a dog. Me and my family probably should use this, although we use a smell test of when we need to bathe. But there's a good one right there. It's like maybe that's the first idea to riff on. Is like, dog getting smelly, you should have bathed him last week. Use PetMates to and people love pet content, so I feel like this app would be a really fun one to kind of riff on and do some fun stuff with.
Yeah, I think like cats, dogs, they're just inherently funny, right? Especially like when dogs be given like the side eye, for example, and there's a lot of content around that, a lot of content around like chihuahuas being like super aggressive for no reason, etc., etc. So I think those can easily be jumped on top of to kind of spin it around your product itself. So I think this should be something that's super simple to find different angles around for sure.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Joseph?
Yeah, I agree. Like how we were saying earlier, like the content has to have some sort of emotional pull. It has to be controversial or funny. It's like it's very easy to go viral with pet. That's the classic original viral video. It's cat videos, or dog videos on YouTube. But they go viral on TikTok too. Yeah, the challenge for this would just be like having the funny pet videos, but then linking it to the app in some way. So let's see, pet care, tasks, reminders. For this, I would just not plug the app super hard. Like, I think because of how easy it is to get views with animal videos, I would just go for super, super soft sell, like almost no CTA in the video. Maybe hint at the app, but don't even name the name of the app. Maybe experiment with naming the app in some videos, but you could just get millions of views every week probably with good pet content. And
in that case, would you use a branded account so then people will see all the content and then click on the profile, or like how would you turn that into downloads?
I think on my side, I would look at it. I think it doesn't have to necessarily be like a super branded account itself. I think as long as you focus on the key things that it solves, right? So one of them I'm seeing here is medicine reminders, and it's like something like, I don't know how my dog gets when I don't give him medicine on time. And it just starts going super crazy, whatever it is. People are gonna comment are really gonna be like, oh yeah, that's same with me, all that kind of stuff through there. And you can actually farm the comments as well and just kind of put the app within the comments itself so people can actually at least see another user say, oh, I actually use this app, for example. And that tends to work out pretty well itself. Or literally in the bio of your account, you can just say, if you don't have up to 1,000 followers, you can just say the app you're looking for is PetMates, for example.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, Joseph?
yeah, Definitely. I mean, farming comments is huge on TikTok. Like, even if you get a single comment asking, what is this app? You can like the comment as the creator, and then it gets pinned to the top. And then you can reply to it and say, this is the app. Also, you can retarget viewers. So if you go viral with a video that doesn't mention the app, you can reply to one of the comments with another video, and then that video will get shown to the original people who watched the first video. It's not really something that's like widely public. Like TikTok doesn't tell you that this is like in the algorithm, but this is just sort of like a pseudo best practice that, you know, TikTok brand owners have been doing for at least the past year or two, where you go viral with a video that's just trying to access the audience that you want to access, not really hard selling. And then once you go viral, people in the comments are going to say, oh, like, how do you deal with this problem of your, you know, reminding yourself to give your pets medicine, or, you know, what app was that you showed on the screen for like half a second? And then you can follow up with videos where you just hard sell, because at that point it's almost like an ad where you're like targeting the exact people that you want to target, but you're just hard selling. And those videos have to be good too. Like, they have to be engaging and retentive. So you can't just completely make it an ad, but you can definitely mention the product. If you want more details on that, I would go to the YouTube video of Oliver Ricardo tabs 0 to 10 million. I just put that in the chat. But if you search that on YouTube, there's this guy, Oliver Bracata. He started a chocolate brand on TikTok, and basically used this strategy.
Gotcha. Any other ideas from either of you on how to create a hook for this? You know, and maybe even create some content that is more direct for a pet care app, to actually sell it, to drive some downloads, and maybe even do something organic that will go viral but also still sell. I mean, I think it's a fantastic idea, like just farming views, but then it seems like there's still also even potential to create more targeted ones that go viral as well.
Yeah, like I think that, you know, the first 3 seconds really matter. So I think a really nice hook that shocks people or says something that people already feel inside already. So I just like stuff like, my dog is insane, my dog's crazy, my cat is an old lady, or I don't know, whatever it is through there, and just start the video like that, because there are some people that are going to resonate to be like, oh, I actually feel that too. What's the reason for that? And I think if you marry that with what Joseph spoke about, which is the first piece of content is more of a lead generator itself. Obviously, when someone finds the content, it's because the algorithm knows they really like to watch cat videos or videos like that anyways. And if the top comment says, what app is that? And then, you know, you can reply then with more of a salesy pitch, which actually tells them exactly what app it is. People that actually click on that, they want to know that app, right? So now it isn't just like a random discovery, it's actually more intent based that way. And because that's going to be pinned to the top now, that could be actually quite a nice combo. So I think just generally with TikTok, there isn't like oh, this is the way you should go. I think sometimes if you mix 2 or 3 things together, it could be quite powerful.
Yeah, looking at the screenshots, I was thinking, you know, from the like a good hook and kind of being controversial and like get people thinking, is like show like a really cute fat dog, like just like a really cute fat dog, and everybody's like, oh, cute dog, and then the like second 2 of the video is what a irresponsible pet owner, and then like, you know, this pet's going to have joint issues, like it's so unhealthy for them, like their pet owner really needs to help them like reduce weight, or, you know, just like something like shocking and like that people are like, oh, it's so cute, and then like, oh wow, now I feel bad for thinking it's cute, and then it's like, you know, maybe a place to like plug the app of you know, here's the app I use to keep my pets healthy, you know, you should use the same, or, you know, things like that. I think it's like fun hooks like that you could potentially use to like really get people's attention.
Yeah, it's a good one. Pets are so emotional. You can probably copy stuff from like the baby category too. Like if you
Oh,
you go
yeah.
to like I just searched up like baby sleep paralysis. I don't know exactly like what are the pain points for parents, but I know like sleep is a huge one for babies. Um just from what I've heard from parents, but like sleep hacks, like there's a lot of or, people feel it's real, problems that people face, and there's a lot of emotion attached to it because they just want the best for their baby or for their dog. So like thinking about some of those pain points more specifically, and then having those be the main point of the video, similar to like what we were talking about with Tyler and Fig, right? It's like um, instead of just saying generically, here's how you can track all your food with your dietary restrictions. It's like it's a very specific dietary restriction. If you're gluten free, here's how you can solve this problem. So
I, I
doing
would I would
yeah
also say like quick feedback for the just the screenshots itself. It's like your whole thing is about dogs and cats, but like the dog image you have is so small. It
Yeah, that's a great point.
looks like that's meant to be the main point. And also, of course, this is blown up on a obviously I'm on my MacBook right now, but this is going to be on a phone. I'm pretty sure a lot of the wording is going to be very hard to read on a phone itself. You don't need to mention every single thing your app does, but maybe try and rank them, which ones are the top three, and just really blow them up and really zoom in itself. Again, we know that the dog itself or the cat itself is the one that invokes the emotions. So you should show that everywhere as big as possible.
Yeah, and to jump on Joseph's idea, I thought it was brilliant. Like how um, to relate to the baby category, because people do treat their pets like kids often, and they're like a part of the family. Um, and there's probably a lot of like great hooks around problems that people face with their pets. So like Tyler was when we were talking about the Tyler's app Fig, and like creating like hundreds of pieces of content on a specific aspect like gluten free or whatever. It's like you could probably do a whole series of like hundreds of videos about weight management and pets, and like just spend a month. It's like thinking about all the different ways to like shock people, to encourage people to like hit all those different human emotions around caring for their pets weight, and then like find another common problem like Lots was talking about medication. Like it's always hard to give pets medication, and remember to give them medication and actually make them take the medication and stuff like that. So it's like you can go through like problem by problem and then try like a ton of different hooks around that specific problem and see what resonates. And it's something Lots and I were talking about before the webinar started. But this is also like great kind of product discovery and even feature discovery. It's like if you share a bunch of videos around weight management and you try a bunch of different hooks and like none of them ever really catch on, nobody really is paying attention, nothing goes viral, like maybe that's something that wouldn't be one of your first 4 screenshots. Like maybe people just don't resonate as strongly with that. And for new features that you might build, start by creating a few TikTok videos and see if they go viral, and then build the feature, versus like spending months and months and months building a feature that maybe just doesn't resonate with people. So, in addition to going viral, it's like there's so much you can learn about like copywriting, screenshots, and marketing broadly by kind of what resonates with people and what it doesn't. Any other last thoughts? We are getting comments. Next app, please.
All right, let's do the next one.
All right. Next app is book clubs, a book club organizer. The pitch is everything a book club needs to get organized in one place. Lots, you want to kick us off on this one?
Yeah. I think when I hear everything a book club needs, it just sounds very generic, just hearing it, because you kind of need to tell the user what is it that they need, or what is that the main thing that kind of stops book clubs being something that's long term and people like to go to, etc., etc. I guess on the TikTok side of things, again, I'm not a person that joins book clubs, so I may not be to talk more about this. But again, it's just finding, okay, what do people currently already say are the issues with book clubs itself, and then finding that one problem. And again, you can repeat the same type of video, but from different perspectives, for sure, and try and see, is that something that resonates? Is that something that actually gets views on the end? But I would say try and find an actual angle, even from your App Store listing, because just saying book club organizer, I'm sure there's probably loads of them. And from looking at it right now, I don't see anything that makes it more organized itself. I mean, I see some buzzwords like coordination and meeting management, but what does that actually mean to the user itself? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, and before we dive into Joseph's thoughts, I saw some chatter in the comments around using VPNs and different SIM cards and stuff like that. Either of you have any tips that you can jump in on like using different accounts, different IP addresses, and stuff like that to I imagine it's like around kind of not having TikTok know that you have like 10 different accounts so that you can kind of comment back and forth and stuff. Is that something they're like actively kind of policing and stuff?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely something that they police at the moment. I would say, like, and I think this tends to be the issue, is that people that just starting off basically try to do it's kind of like with taxes, right? People who don't have a lot of money are kind of like, okay, how do billionaires save on taxes? It's kind of like, you don't need to do that as of right now. I think the first thing is like, if you just have 2 or 3 accounts, that's pretty safe on that end, and then try and work with those to see, okay, is there actually something scalable? I think when you then reach like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 accounts plus, that's when kind of like the different SIMs and VPNs then become important. But if you're actually at the very beginning, it's finding, okay, which are the best angles to go for, which ones are resonating, and then when you want to scale, then you need to put those kind of operational things in process for you to scale properly.
Gotcha. Joseph, what are your thoughts on book clubs?
Yeah, I saw someone in the chat say spicy BookTok. I think that's a great idea. BookTok already is very spicy, so you could just kind of ride that wave.
You wanna search that? Well, no, actually, do not search that. I was thinking we just need to like bring in. I like when you like pull up some ideas on TikTok, but yeah, that's not one we should pull up today. Any other kind of ideas you could pull up, or well, I guess finish your thoughts on spicy BookTok. But then,
yeah. Well, I'll just look up. I'll just look up BookTok.
Okay, there you
go. So BookTok itself is like huge on TikTok. You just like 41 million videos on hashtag BookTok. And when I'm thinking about book clubs, I think you want to show the end result. Like their end result is you get to connect with all your friends because you're in a book club together and you get to talk about a book that you're all reading together. So I would film, like all of this is sort of like individual. Like this is all like people that just read on their own. I would try to find examples of videos that show multiple people. Oh, here we go. No, this is signing books. But I would show like a bunch of your friends in a room, just like get like 3, 4 people in a cozy room. You're just reading books. It's aesthetic. It's a bunch of girls. Like I don't know like who this would resonate with, but I think like if you have if you show the end result and you have some caption that says, oh, like you finally made it out of the group chat and you're now, you finally started the book club that you've been wanting to start. And you could somehow flash the the app on the screen. One other thing I was thinking about is this app called Swish. So this has nothing to do with books, but it's the same. It's a similar type of target audience. So with book clubs, it's almost prosumer. Like they're going after an audience of people who want to organize. They're almost like the group leader among their friend group. Like they're going to use this app to organize their book club. Swish is similar. It's a photo sharing app where when you organize an event, it allows you to share all the photos that were taken at the event with everyone who attended, and it tags all the people's faces, so you can like find all the photos of you after an event. So that's the app. But their TikTok is really interesting because they just make these face reaction videos where this is just the founder. This is Allie. She says, "My fellow sorority social chairs, listen up. Stop using Photo Circle, which is a competitor. My chapter just switched to an app called Swish. It uses AI to tell you the best pics." And they're basically just targeting they know exactly what type of audience that they're going after, so they call them out very specifically, my fellow sorority social shares. So they're going after people like they thought about, what type of person is going to organize parties and want to share photos. Well, it's probably sorority social chairs, or leaders of social groups. So you could think about with books, like who is the person who wants to organize a book. I don't know if there's a name for it, like sorority social chairs, but you could just call it out specifically and say, hey, have you ever been wanting to open a book club, or do your friends have books that you want to read, but you just haven't gotten around to doing it? Well, I just finally started one and it's going great, and here's the app that I used. And instead of like showing the face, I mean, you could show the face, but you could instead, and the B-roll, I'm thinking like you show the B-roll of filming, in the room, like with your friends all reading. So yeah, that's one idea.
I think one great takeaway here, and it's maybe the number one tip I feel like I've learned from Joseph, is that if you want to create video on TikTok, you just need to spend a lot of time on TikTok. I would have never guessed that a video, which is somebody moving their face around and text you have to read, would get tens of thousands of views. But they do. So, if you're looking for ideas, it's crazy the kind of things that will get tens of thousands of views on TikTok. So it's like endless possibilities of things to experiment with. And what you really need to do is just be on TikTok a lot and see what's going on. All right. One thing to clarify real quick for the audience who watches this after the fact, somebody followed up in the chat saying that that the question wasn't actually about using multiple accounts to like hack the algorithm and like other posts and stuff like that. What they were talking about was, if you're outside the US, how do you target the US audience from a different place? So I guess there is some like aspect of the algorithm that's going to pigeonhole you geographically. Any thoughts on that before we move on, Joseph or Lots?
Yeah, okay, cool. That makes sense. So if you're outside the US and you predominantly want to target the US, they do look at the IP address of where the account is being signed into. So if you have a friend who is in the US that can post on the Air phone itself, that will actually be helpful. If not, there are some VPN providers that do help with that. But I've heard, again, none of this is kind of like concrete, but I've heard that also having a US SIM as well is also helpful in kind of if you sign up with your phone number for a TikTok account, sometimes the phone number supersedes the IP itself. which then makes it that if you just have a US SIM and you do like a OTP authentication with TikTok, then it kind of says, okay, cool, you're American now. We're now going to show you to I guess US TikTokers.
Gotcha. That's super interesting. I would like these are the things I would have never even thought to ask or understand, living in the US myself and not having dug deep into the platform. So super helpful tip. Thanks lots. And thanks for asking in the chat too. That was great. Quick, any wrap up, Sarah Joseph?
No, I think it's yeah. Another thing to add is like prox. Like some people, there's a lot of ways to tackle the internationalization problem. Like I've seen people use residential proxies. I've seen people say that some VPNs don't work, so that they have to set up their own VPN self-hosted with AWS. I've seen some people say US SIM cards are the way to go. So I think TikTok is pretty good at detecting like some of this stuff. So it probably changes every few months. But I think what Lotz said is sounds like it's like the current meta.
Gotcha. All right, well let's keep rolling then. Next up is a fun app, Shot Pattern, a golf GPS app. Pitch is Shot Pattern is the only golf GPS app that puts strategy at the forefront. I don't know what that means, so maybe that's a first critique. Peter and I have been talking about maybe doing a kind of roast my pitch webinar at some point. Let us know in the comments if you think that would be fun. But I'll go ahead and roast the pitch a little bit. Maybe it's that I don't play golf, but it's like I don't know what that means. It sounds a little like buzzwordy. Put strategy at the forefront. Maybe that's more resonant for golfers. But yeah, that would be my first tip is maybe iterate on that pitch. But yeah, it looks like it's a golf app that gives you strategy visuals using your shot dispersion so that you can shoot lower scores. Another quick tip: the screenshots. That's a one that's probably gonna be hard to read on a phone, like Lotz was saying before about those other screenshots. And then that is a lot of words from a pitch and marketing and screenshot. And again, working on TikTok and like trying to figure out what resonates and what catches people's attention and stuff like that, I think can help inform, creating better screenshots. So how do we make this go viral on TikTok? I think Joseph, you've like thought more about golf apps, right? You might have some good ideas for this one.
Yeah, I've thought about golf is great. It's like it's a very high LTV niche. Like the people that play golf are, golf is expensive itself. So the people who play it have a lot of money. They're going to be paying probably high subscription. They're willing to pay high subscription for something that helps improve their golf game. So this is like, it's a great niche. I agree with you on the screenshot stuff. I was looking at their TikTok right now. And another good thing about this app is that it has the diagram interface where the app demo itself looks really cool. Like you can see all the analytics live and the angles and the distances. So I think their content strategy is already pretty solid. One thing is, I think these might actually be ads because they have a lot of views, but they have very low engagement. So I think these are actually, I think they might have posted these and then didn't get very many views and then put money behind it to show it as an ad. So maybe they need to work on hooks and things like that. But like this one, also 43 likes and 17K views. So yeah, this is probably also ad. But
can you sort by which one has like the most views and which one has the most likes?
Yeah, you can sort by popular,
that's what you already did. Gotcha.
Views, yeah. I'll keep thinking about Lotz. I think Lotz wanted to speak as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I agree with Joseph in terms of like, I really like the whole video with the circled analytics, and it kind of I don't know, increasing or decreasing through there, because I think it just shows the function of the app itself without you having to really say anything on that end. In terms of the different content styles, I do think just looking at what the issues are and not tackling it as a whole thing. So yes, people want to, I'm not no golfer, but like, of course, they want the least amount of hits to get it in the hole. That's as much as I know about golf from that end. But that's like the main thing that everybody wants. Like, what's like verticalize that into how does it help you in how to hit in the first place, and then just focus on just that itself, and then go to different verticals. But as of right now, I think I definitely do like, especially the one on the top left, I can see with the circled 7 yard and minus 1.03. Like, I do definitely like the whole thing is that it's already showing you how it works without you having to say anything. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the hook there is good. The surprising truth about how far you need to hit a drive. Like I feel like that kind of copy, it drew me in. Like, what's the surprising truth? Like what? So yeah, great work here. I mean, it looks like maybe the strategy and the direction Shot Pattern's heading on TikTok is good. They just need to like produce another 100 videos and they'll a few of them will hit. I mean, that's so much of creative creation. If you're on paying for ads on Meta, so much on TikTok and other platforms, it's just you just gotta really crank them out to figure out what's going to work.
I would also. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
All right, cool. I would also say that there's probably like a lot of golf meme pages as well, even just Instagram. So I think there could be some good angles there that you can kind of create some funny content.
Yeah. I think another thing is you can just look at golf swing videos. Like, it doesn't have to show the actual, like you said, like it doesn't have to show pure product demo as the entire video. Like, I just searched golf swing, and this is just like people giving tips on golf swings. This one got 900,000 views. He's just narrating and saying, here's how you can improve your swing. This one's really interesting. 500K views. I like this one because it had the diagram thing. Let me see if I can try to find that. So they have the overlay diagram inside the video. I think that's very eye-catching. I think if you just put picture in picture and showed the app in the corner here, and showed the tracking of like how far you do the swing, and then you show, or you could even just demo the product. Like, the product itself is saying, here's like how far you should hit it. So before your swing, you could do a practice swing. Say, here's, surprise. You could do the same caption. You could say surprising truth about how far you need to, whatever, and then you show the app in the screen, like right here in the corner. You show a quick demo, like maybe 2-3 seconds, and say, here's how, how far you need to hit it. And then you demonstrate that you actually swing, and then you get the B-roll of like taking the golf cart over there, and then like showing like the next, how close you got it. And I think that would be an engaging video. Instead of jumping straight into the product demo, I think having a hook like this, where it's like backswing 101. This is by far the easiest way to achieve that perfect backswing. That's a good hook. That's good copy. Compression.
You compress the irons by swinging. You compress the irons by swinging low and left. But I think when most people mess up, instead of going low and left this way, on the top of the swing, they go this way.
It's a classic hook. It's here's where most people mess up, or here's the most common mistake I see with XYZ. So if you use that as the hook, and then you kind of go into the product demo, I think that could be a good way to get a hook, get viewers in the door, and then kind of go into the product pitch.
Yeah, this seems like one where would be way easier to create organic content that goes viral, because like there's so many different pitches that you could open with that are going to capture people's attention, and then it's really easy to pull the app into solving the pitch. So like that whole thing, like, you know, the common mistakes, it's like, well, here's how you fix it. I use this app to fix it. Like there's so many ways to like even very naturally bring the app into the what's otherwise a pretty organic piece of content. Before we move on to the next one, Lots has been answering questions that I think folks watching the video will benefit from, but they can't go back and look at these questions. So let's just hit a couple of strategy questions real quick. The first one is, does it make sense to pay to promote some posts? Would it help them get some traction, or is it counterproductive? Lots, why don't you share kind of your thoughts on that? I know you already answered it, but we'll answer it live for the folks listening in.
Yeah, I think. Wait, could you repeat the question again? I'm trying to find it. I know there's been loads of questions.
Yeah, it's in the questions tab, and if you sort by upvotes, it's actually the most upvoted question. So the question is,
Okay, I see it.
Yeah, does it make sense to pay to promote some posts? Would it help them get some traction, or is it counterproductive? Yeah, I mean, and this is maybe to Joseph's point on this, the shot pattern app was like, maybe some of these would have gone more viral, but maybe they started using them as ads early. Like, is it counterproductive to put money behind it before it goes viral?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I personally wouldn't, just because it could also obscure whether something does well organically or not. So I'll first put it out there, try different angles, and see which one of those types of angles do significantly better than the other. And then I will then think about, okay, cool, let me put some ads on that to boost that. Because it's kind of like, okay, organically it's been shown to a certain subset of people. And then I'll just see ads as a booster to be like, okay, cool, this definitely resonates. Can I increase the coverage of this as well, while still keeping the quality, rather than kind of like straight from the beginning putting ads on it, because it could be very hard to differentiate which views are actually coming from the ads and which ones are actually from the organic side of things.
Gotcha. Any thoughts there to follow up, Joseph?
Yeah, I mean, it probably just depends on the type of content. Like if you're doing like a direct product demo like this, I mean, that's fine. I think it's fine to have this as an ad. But if your goal is to go viral with organic, I don't think it's like you shouldn't try boosting a video that wasn't even optimized to be an ad. Like ad creatives and organic videos are slightly different. So I wouldn't. Yeah, I think they're kind of like two different types of content.
Can you explain that a little more? So like, in what cases would you put money behind a TikTok that did go viral, and in which cases is it counterproductive or just not going to kind of get you a return on ad spend? I mean, a good example from like, you know, things we've talked about so far today was like, if you're doing cat and dog videos, they go super viral, but then you're only pitching in the comments and stuff. It's like, you probably don't want to just pay money to have a dog video get more views. But in what situations would you put money behind something that did go viral, and what situations, and what's the difference in like how you do the creatives for ads versus viral content?
Yeah, I think so attribution is hard, but you can if you look in your analytics and you see when you started getting a bunch more downloads and subscriptions, and then you kind of cross-reference that with when you got a viral video, you can pretty reliably track like this video is the video that made me get all these downloads. And if you know that, then you know that the video is good. Like it was viral and it was high converting. So in that case, you would want to put money behind it. If you can't make that attribution, or like estimated attribution, then it's probably not worth it. So yeah, I think it's just if you know the video is high converting.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, there's other great strategy questions in there. We'll maybe touch on one more before we wrap up. But let's get on to the next one. And this is one I was looking forward to covering, and to get both of your thoughts on this. PlantSnap, identify plants, and the pitch is AI plant identification and AI plant expert. What's interesting to me about this one is that there are so many plant identifying apps out there, including some like very big ones like Planta and others. So what I'd love to focus on for this this kind of round of pitching ideas around is how do you stand out when so many people on TikTok have probably already seen ads, already seen viral videos? Like this is maybe like how do you do something in a saturated market like these plant care apps? Yeah, I mean, I know that's like a really tough question, but lots. You want to kick us off? Any?
So yeah, so how I think about it in terms of differentiation. So how I think of some of these businesses, it's like PlantSnap and like for example, like all the different type of simple ChatGPT type tools. People know that it's not going to be like this isn't like a 10-year, 20-year business itself. So sometimes actually you're not really trying to necessarily differentiate so much from everyone else because you might put a lot of investment into that. And the yield it actually gives is maybe like 1% better than everybody else. Sometimes it is best to look at, okay, who's actually in the space? What are they currently doing? Do I have a nice spin I can do on that? But like there's actually a lot more people a lot more mobile users who are willing to pay than people think itself. So when people think like a space is saturated, it's like saturated where? Is it saturated in the US? Maybe actually in a different country, it's actually not saturated at all. So for example, like I create like an AI music app. There's so many of them already. But then what we found is that actually specifically on Android, in the US and also like in I think it was Mexico or South America as well. That was kind of like the place that's kind of untapped. So we really focused a lot of our copy on that itself. So yes, it may be saturated, maybe specifically in US English and iOS, but there's just so many stores to go. Well, there's obviously iOS and Android, and there's just so many ways to kind of spin things. But honestly, my always first thing is kind of like, okay, who did I look at when I created this app? Because a lot of people that create these apps didn't think of it in their head. They kind of thought, oh, there's an app like that. Let me try and create something similar. So then actually look at, okay, how are those other apps marketing at the moment? And how are similar adjacent apps also marketing as well? And is there something that I can replicate myself?
That is some really good advice. Thanks lots.
Yeah, I feel like you're almost like opening up new markets in a way. Like you're like just because it feels saturated. I like the Android example. Like if all the users for a popular app are mostly on iOS, then that's a huge gap. You could make an Android app that's better. There's also like concept of like demand generation. Like if you can create a new market by just tackling a different pain point with the same solution. So for example, like not to bring it back to Tyler and Fig again, but like with Fig, like the total TAM of that app is anyone who has food restrictions, but it actually doesn't it doesn't even have to be food restrictions. Like the market is actually bigger. Like it could be for people who are just health conscious or people who are that are bodybuilding. They want to get more calories, or they're on a diet and they have specific types of foods that they want to try to eat in the next few months. So I think same thing with plants. Like you can like maybe, I mean, yes, it is saturated, but you could probably find the parts of the market that are less saturated by looking at the types of content that are out there. So if there's not as much content out there that leans into the identification side versus the plant care side, for example, like I was just finding that just now, like if you look at let's see, the name of the app was PlantSnap. What did I look up?
Yeah, it looks like that is the app, that first result, PlantSnap.
Yeah. What was the what was the app that you mentioned, David?
Planta.
Planta. Like, I have a feeling that a lot of these videos have to do with plant care. Yeah, a lot of them are plant care. And maybe that is the most lucrative market, like because clearly they're in it for a reason. But I'm sure there's other reasons for it. Like imagine, like I'm just thinking of I don't know, just hikers. Like sometimes you are hiking through the forest and you want to identify a plant, like maybe because it's like you want to see if it's poisonous or not, right? Like that's a completely different use case. They don't have any content that's like hiking. It's all indoor plants. So I wonder if you could do that. Like that's a completely new angle. I don't know like the size of that market or how profitable it could be, but you can definitely open up new markets with like the same app.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna jump to the next one because we are running very short on time. And Peter did bring in the winner of the RC Growth Challenge, Thumbsters. So let's riff on this a little bit as the winner. And the fun thing is we might actually do some of this because we got a $15,000 budget to spend. Steve Young is going to be helping promote the app. So let's get some great ideas for us to play with the next 3 months with money and a lot of creative juices behind it. So Thumbsters is the best parenting support app. Your new partner in positive parenting. And then, the app itself is about like encouraging kids with good behavior and like giving them a thumbs up and like that kind of positive reinforcement. One of my colleagues actually uses this app. My wife and I have like used like sticker charts and other kind of things over time. So it is like this is part of why we picked it for the RC Growth Challenge, is that it really is a huge market. Parents are willing to spend a lot of money, and I think it is another one that's going to have potential for a lot of like fun parent content, kid content. Joseph and I were talking about this on the podcast. Is that I'm a 45-year-old father of 4. When I go on Instagram and TikTok and other places, my feed looks so different from Lot's feed, from Joseph's feed, from a Gen Z feed, from my kids' feed. I don't let them on TikTok or Instagram, but if they were, we'll say that. And so I actually get a ton of like family humor kind of stuff when I do spend time on Instagram. It's like jokes about husband and wife relationship, jokes about being Gen X in the modern world and parenting and how, when we were kids, things were so different. It's like, there's Joseph, you've probably never seen this content. Lots, you've probably never seen this content because it's like you just live in such a different world, and the algorithms like feed you the things that like are more relevant to you. But it's like there's a ton of content like that out there that I think Thumbsters could latch onto to create some really good viral hooks for the app.
Yeah, for sure. Like 2 things that come to mind that you actually mentioned, David, is that there's probably multiple different types of parents for sure, or how they try to do it. But 2 ones that you did mention is like parents that already do this, but in the old manual way. So the whole kind of like before and after type of thing. I think that's a great way to go around it. And also number two, it's like you can also feed into the guilt of parents who don't do it or don't actually realize that they don't give like positive affirmations to their kids, or maybe that they're too kind of nagging all the time. So helping the parents actually discover from that video, like, oh wow, like that is me. Like, why am I like that? Okay, this is something that could actually potentially help as well. So I think those are kind of two different angles you can almost try in two different accounts as well.
Yeah, that's great. Joseph, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, for the dog app, we said, hey, like copy the kids content. For the kids app, we could say like copy the dog content. Like baby videos do very well on TikTok. Like this kind of reminds me of what is it? Reading.com? Is it reading.com or is it? Oh yeah, this. Like
Watch his blue.
Like, so this is an app for iPad that helps teach your kids how to read.
See improve over 2 weeks.
It. Fit.
Good.
Fit.
Yeah, do your shoes fit?
Ah.
This is it. The whole
Excellent.
video is just
Yeah.
a bunch of, it's just the product, it's just straight up product demo. And this video got 5.8 million views.
Jeez.
It's just really, I don't know, it's engaging. Like, and you hear the kid's voice, it's cute. Like the product is actually really cool. But with the stickers and stuff, let me see I remember my parents had like sticker charts for me too, or like even the classroom, like that was a fun way to get kids to, be good. Let's see the interface. I'm trying to think of ways to like put the interface in a video somehow.
There could be some funny stuff like a mom covered in stickers and like love sticker charts but hate all the stickers, and then showing off like digital sticker chart basically.
Yeah, with the kid in the video, and have the kid like tap the app and be like excited to, do the, get the rewards and stuff. Like, I feel like that would be, so much content you can do with the kids themselves.
Yeah, that's a great reminder. I didn't realize reading.com had I just hadn't ever looked at their social. I know the founder, their Revenue Cat customer. I should get them on the podcast and get some insights. It seems like they're doing well. Click on the account and see if that's like their most viral account, or most viral post.
They did the same thing. So this one's 40 million views.
He
Mm-hmm.
is.
Mm-hmm.
And I have nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good example though. He is not like a donkey. Like having the kids read like funny sentences, it's probably a good hook.
That's true. Very true. Yeah, I know the founder as well. They're in Consumer Club.
Oh, cool.
They're killing it with organic.
We got 2 more minutes. Any kind of wrap up thoughts on Thumbsters, and then maybe we'll just kind of wrap up the whole 90 minutes with some final strategy tips.
Maybe some actionable things for Thumbsters is like, if you want to make this type of content, then you're gonna have to find parents on TikTok, or like parents with kids, either on Facebook video, Instagram Reels, or TikTok. So I would start with just hashtags like parenting is probably the most basic hashtag you can find. But if you, like if you search for a super generic hashtag because you don't know exactly what to search for, they're gentle parenting. That's more specific. 180K posts. This is like more specific type of parenting content, and you can start reaching out to all these people, especially if you sort by. So let's see, gentle parenting, and then go to videos. So this is the desktop app. You actually can't do advanced search on desktop, but if you go on your phone on TikTok, you search hashtag gentle parenting, you can sort by recency. So you can sort by only videos that have been posted in the past month or past year. So then you'll find like parenting content creators to reach out to who are currently active in posting content. So this is how I would like find these creators if you have the budget, because you guys won the contest.
Yeah.
Like, this is a good way to like spend. If you wanted to do influencer marketing, this would be one way to try to find these influencers.
I was going to ask both of you, because I mean, I'm going to be helping make the decisions on like how this is like, I'm going to be helping Steve and Thumbsters as part of this process. Like, we're going to do some live webinars. We're going to do some strategy sessions. Like, we're going to be kind of building in public with Thumbsters. How would the two of you suggest we deploy that 15,000? Maybe give me kind of two ideas. Like, one, like just YOLO all 15K onto TikTok. Don't experiment with any other search ads or anything else, just all TikTok. And then maybe like if you had a 5,000 of the 15, how would you deploy 5,000 on TikTok, and then how you would deploy 15, and like how much would you pay the creators? Like, how much would you expect to spend per piece of content? Like, how should we actually use this 15K?
Yeah, on my side, so I wouldn't say YOLO the whole 15K on one strategy, that's for sure. But I would say in terms of getting creators, an angle that I like to go for, again, the same thing as Joseph said in terms of searching the hashtag and maybe the hyper specific ones, finding those creators and getting them to create UGC content for you first. Because for me, I kind of believe more in volume to start off with, so you can find okay which angle kind of works. So I'd probably use like 5K of that to work with, and how you frame it to a creator is very important. So I don't like to pay per video because it is more expensive, but I'm rather like, hey, for 2 weeks or for a month, we will pay you X. And that way they tend to then align it with like a normal job itself. And therefore I've had a lot of creators which I've worked with for like $1,500 in a month, and they post one video per day, right? So now that's like 30 pieces of content. That's 30 different chances on goal that I could try with different angles itself. And then you can multiply that, with 3 creators itself. All of a sudden now, at the end of that month, you have 90 pieces of content, and make sure you have like the IP rights to that, and et cetera, et cetera. But now you have more chances on goal, and you'll be able to see, okay, which ones are the ones that kind of were best. Of course, like maybe when you're 1 week in, you kind of look at, okay, maybe this angle's working better, and kind of tune them in to be like, let's try different angles of this one specific thing itself. So that's definitely something I'll be doing of like 5K of the budget. And don't phrase it like you pay X amount per video, because then it just becomes more expensive.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, I think what you said in the very beginning is like really key. Like you wanna, like 15K is a really great budget amount in order to find your viral formats. Like I'm looking at the Thumbsters app. There's one video that has good views. Like you're in the stage where you're trying to find like content market fit. Basically, you're trying to find a video format that will go viral and also convert and also be repeatable. So in order to find that video, it's good to have multiple hypotheses. So you can have like, let's say you have 3 hypotheses where it's like, these 3 types of videos I think could go viral, but I'm not 100% sure yet. You can find 3 different creators, put them on retainer, like Lat said, like, $1,500 a month or maybe more, depending on their past experience and how many views you think that they could get with each video, and start to run these 3 experiments at the same time in order to find that one video that pops off. And then once you find that one video, hopefully it's all three, But if you find one single video, now you've struck gold, and you can do what all these apps are doing, which is repeat the same concept over and over, and because you found that market that resonates with this type of content.
Cool. We are 5 minutes over already, and 90 minutes is a long time to be live chatting about all this stuff. So let's go ahead and wrap up. But as we do, anything you wanted to share? Like, how can people reach out, get in touch, or not? But yeah, anything you want to share as we're wrapping up?
Yeah, I don't want anyone to get in touch with me. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm Lots Nomad on all socials. I'm most active on X now, so you can just follow me, send me a DM. I'm pretty open to share whatever about my journey as well, and also help out people as well.
Awesome. Joseph?
Cool. Yeah, I'm trying to pull up Lot's Twitter here. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm also on Twitter. I post content about viral app marketing. This is me. That's Lots. So yeah, follow both of us and reply. You could also join sub club community if you're like a little bit farther along and you want to like really meet people that are really actively like doing well, either revenue, users, funding. We have a more exclusive community at Consumer Club where people just discuss the latest, like what's working for TikTok marketing, but also just in general, like building consumer apps.
Awesome. And then, as most of you probably know at this point, you can find me on we've talked about it multiple times. I host a Subclub podcast. We do a ton of these kind of webinars. And then chat.subclub.com for the Subclub community. And yeah, it was so much fun. A lot of great insights. Thanks to the two of you for joining me today. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Bye.